guys. The last video we went and got the seats, and while we were there we picked up some louvers, and today we're going to be putting them on the car. But before we put them on the car, we have to wrap the carbon fiber to go along with the rest of the car. So we're going to show you that now.
Look at this. There's icicles. I don't know if you can see it. So what we're going to probably be working off of is we're going to work off the tailgate of one of the other wraps that we just got done doing. And we're just going to kind of work off the tailgate there and wrap the louvers in the carbon fiber.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it. Get on with it.
Alright, so what we're going to do first is we've got the louvers here. We're going to clean them up with some alcohol. It's just regular base alcohol, nothing special. Just going to soak them down. I'm going to use, you can use paper towels. I'm going to use a rag. But we're going to clean these up, make sure there's a good surface for the vinyl to stick to. So flip it over. We'll do this side after you clean the side that the actual vinyl is going to be going on. The main part of this you want to clean. I'm going to go ahead and clean the whole thing. But you mostly just want to get this lip here and get that cleaned off of it so that the vinyl will stick to it and hold. Once you have it all cleaned and it's ready to go, take the vinyl, get your piece cut out that you want. It's the right size, and it's going to stretch and pull a little bit. So we're going to see there, and that hangs off on that side. So we're going to make a little incision here, just a kind of a mark. Cut that off to the size that I want. So once you get it all there, ready, you've got it all cut out, we're going to take and peel it off. And we are going to just lay it over the top of this. Get it how we want it, make sure it's in the right place. And the vinyl is very forgiving. You can crunch this up, destroy it pretty much, and then take it apart and still use it. And once we get it about where we want it, we're just going to kind of tack it down so that it's not moving, and start pulling on it to get it to where we want it. And just start carving it out evenly with the material. You want to do all your flat surfaces first. You don't want to go over any of the hard curves until after you have all of your flat surface done. So get underneath it, pull it up. We're just going to get all of our top layer, and we're going to go like right there is the curve on this where it will start to go down. So I'm going to just work to that curve all the way across it. So once we get it to a point to where we can start forming it to the curves and the shapes, we're going to take us a heat gun. You don't want it to be super hot because it'll singe the vinyl, especially when it's not already stuck to something. So you want to just make sure that heat gun's good and warm. And then we're going to put it on a lower setting. We're just going to kind of heat it a little bit, push it down as we go, and just kind of form it to the shape of the louvers is there. Working it a little bit at a time. When you get into some really hard spots, you can take this heat gun and heat it, and then pull it over to where there's no wrinkles, and then take and work it out. And it'll come out real nice if you do it just right. Just take right here with these real hard corners, because this thing kind of comes out and around. We're going to take and split this in here later once we get these real hard corners together. But for now, we're just going to take and slowly heat and work all that air back towards itself in here so that it forms to that nice and neat like. Hello? Well, whatever. So the film that we're using is carbon fiber, and it is Avery. It's a good quality product. It stretches easy. It forms to everything pretty easy. It takes the heat well, and it doesn't singe up when you put just a little bit of heat on it, so that's a good thing. So now that I'm to a point, I just done the cut, and I probably should have talked us through it first. What I done here was, I'm to a point now to where all of the, let me get this thing off the truck, to a point now to where, like in here, this isn't gonna form anymore until after I've made a cut. So what I did here was I made a relief cut, and I'm gonna work the rest of this out now with the heat gun, and that should lay down just real nice and neat. And I'll try to get the best angle I can on the camera. So Dylan's gonna hold the camera. We're going to kind of give you a little shot of how we're doing this and what we're doing. So we're going to take and heat this up through here in these little corners, and they're the hardest parts that's going to lay down. They're going to require a lot of heat, and then push on it, kind of let it sit, and back and forth like that until it finally sticks. It's really not something you want to tackle first thing. It's nice to have a little bit of experience under your belt before you try to tackle a corner or something like this, because this stuff is not easy right here. And there we go. Now it's starting to stick a little bit. So I'm going to get a card and just kind of work it down as we go around here. And that's got a lot of heat on it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to push that down one more time with the card, and I'm going to leave the heat alone on it, and I'm going to let it cool off a little bit. So now I'm going to take my card, and I'm going to push down on all these little spots here that I made the cut on. And then I'm going to come over to this side, and I'm going to do the same thing. Alright, so now that I've got all the corners and stuff worked out, everything's pretty much worked out. I can go ahead and do these tops, I guess, but once you get to a point to where this is all you're worried about, and you don't have to do any more major heating and shrinking, and it's just stretching over, overlapping, and getting it to lay down. After we've got it all worked out, we're to the point to where it's, this is it. We've got it where we want it. We're going to flip this over, we can see the back side of it, and not all of it. It's almost short in a couple of spots, but take and we're going to heat this a little bit. So like on these corners especially, just that thick. This is. So we're going to take and heat it from this side. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing or not. You might can. Hold it down, and we're just going to stretch the vinyl cleanly over the back side of it here to where it overlaps and makes good contact with the edges. Now this edge is going to be stuck, so we need to overlap it a good bit in order to get it to stay properly. So we just keep pulling and stretching. If you have to use your heat gun, that's fine, but you just want to keep pulling, stretching, and tacking it down, and then coming back through with your finger, your hand, and just kind of running over that edge. Alright, so once you've got it to a point where you're like this here, and it's just a bunch of, you're done wrapping as far as the actual wrap goes. It's all on there, and then you've just got some little spots like these little bubbles here, and that's it. Then you can take your heat gun, and you can work those bubbles out, and if they don't come out, you can take your knife. Since that's in like a seam like that, you take your knife and you split it in that seam, and it'll all lay down real nice. And depending on how it goes will depend on whether I cut it or not. Once you get it all laid down, you want to take your heat gun and you want to come back over it, the whole thing, and you just want to heat the hell out of it. Put a lot, and post-curing it, and it'll cause that vinyl, since we've had to stretch and form it to so much, it'll cause it to really stick and hold its pattern and shape here and not want to pull off later, because it's going to shrink in the sun and out in the heat if you don't cure it really well. For an extra precaution, what we're fixing to do, just because we don't want this to pull up for any reason, and we know that he's going to be rough on the car, so what we're going to do here is we're going to take all of our edges, and I'm going to flip this around so you can see it. We're going to take all of our edges, and we're going to take, and we've got this sealer. We've got two different ones. We've got one, they're usually used on boats. When you do a boat edge or anything, you have to seal the edges on it to keep the water from getting underneath. So what we're going to do is we're going to seal the edges of this louver so that we know 100% for a fact that it's not going to peel up. Alright, so that's what it's like wrapping the louvers and trying to get all formed and shaped to the way you need it. We put the sealer on there, and now it's got to dry. So we can't really mess with it. We're just going to leave it alone for now, and we're going to go ahead and work on the next one. But now that you know the process, we'll probably have the results up. We don't have any tape to be able to put it on the car today. So what we'll probably do is just show you the results. If you want to check out the Instagram that we have, it'll probably flash on the screen somewhere. Just check out his Instagram, and then you'll see the results there.